Hi you guys.
Hey everybody, what's going on?
Welcome back to our channel. I'm P.
And I'm J.
Today we're going to talk about long distance relationships.
Do
they work?
Or do they not work?
Okay, so it was a time where I was in Louisiana. We went to high school together. So it was a time where I was in Louisiana. I was in school and I was long distance. He was here in Houston and I was in Baton Rouge. So they didn't have FaceTime.
No FaceTime, no.
Did they have Skype?
No.
We had the camera that go on top of your computers, but I didn't have one of those at the time. So, Jay had, what you had, babe?
A two-way pager.
Yeah, a two-way pager. And that's how we would
Nextel, Skytel, whatever it was.
That's what we would communicate with, and if we can talk on the phone or whatever. And text messaging
wasn't in.
Yeah, that was not out. So I would have to call and leave a message with an operator.
My personal assistant.
Yeah, we kind of old, y'all. We're not old, but we kind of old. And we would have to talk like that. So we just want to talk about long distance relationship. Give you some advice. Did long distance works for us? It did, but it didn't.
But it didn't. No.
Yeah, our relationship failed at that moment. I was 18.
When I was 20.
Yeah, and so and it just didn't work for us. It worked for like 1.5 years.
Yeah, and after that it was kind of hard because communication, you can only communicate so much over the phone, and when you don't see anybody that you're used to seeing all the time, and then it gets to where it's a strain on the relationship because you're not sure as far as, if this person where they say they are, if this person doing what they say they're doing, because you have to really trust them. So communication was really a priority, but it did help us build how we communicate, even though with long distance relationships you'll find yourself having petty arguments. Yeah,
because why you arguing? Like, we would argue over the dumbest thing. You ain't answer your phone. Like some things we don't even think about arguing right now of what we argued about when we were long distance, and not because of maturity, but you just don't find anything else to talk about than to argue. You didn't see each other, so why are you arguing if you don't even get to see one another? Y'all haven't had any interaction. Now, don't get me wrong. We seen him. I didn't have a car my freshman year. You couldn't take a car, so I would have to get a ride with my friend. She would bring me home, and the only time I really would come home, only if Victoria was coming home, or like if spring break,
special occasions,
holidays. And so it was really just like that. And
my car was challenged a bit. I didn't have access to get to Louisiana, let alone get to the north side of town. So so that was out of the question. All I could do is really just let her know that I was trying. I wasn't quite old enough to, at that time they were really a little bit more strict with renting cars to people who were under 21. So it was hard for me to rent a car and say, hey, I'm going to go down there and see you. And I really wanted to, but the way that it was set up, it was just hard for me to really commit to get down there. So that was something else that was a little different in our relationship that caused us a lot of anxiety and stress amongst us, because we wanted to see each other, but circumstances wouldn't have us seeing each other.
Yeah, so what we just want to give you guys is some advice on how to make it work. We can just give you what we feel that would work and what worked for us. So basically, after a year and a half, I was a senior. End of my senior year, we talked. That was our second time getting back together. And then we talked for that long period of time. And during my second year, my sophomore year, it was just kind of getting old. It was around Valentine's Day. Yeah. And I remember that. Wow. And it was just crazy. It didn't make any sense. We were arguing. Thank you, Jackson.
That's for you.
That's for me. Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you. Okay. We were arguing. We were arguing for no reason. I was just like, okay, we just need to kind of let it go. He wasn't coming down. And then, girls, we get upset when they don't answer their phone. You know, I think by sophomore year they got text messages by then, because it was the kind where it wasn't like direct messaging. You had to like upload it and download it or something. It was through the internet. You had to have internet to use. Text messages. It was crazy, and I was with Sprint, and so, but yeah, and it just didn't make no sense. So, you know, now with technology, you can actually see each other. It should be a little bit easier for you guys, but I still we have family and friends that talk to people long distance, and they still have the same problems even with seeing one another. And so you just have to really have some goals. I mean, why are you talking to someone out of town,
and it has to be something that you really want to do, because I wouldn't sign up for it if you're not really built for that type of relationship, because it can really, you know, wear on you. It can really kind of hurt really who you are as a person, because you're trying to say, man, I really want to be with this person. I really want to spend, you know, my time. If you want to get married, whatever it is, that you really have to make sure that you're signing up for this, because you really want to get past just the physical appearance of a person, and that's really what it is. If your communication,
and that's how it built you up, because you're not seeing each other.
It has to be your communication has to be a priority, because you're not seeing them. You're not there to feel that, you know, their hand. You're not there to, you know, to hold hands at the movie, whatever it is. And so you have to really sacrifice a lot to really make it work. But there are good dividends to long distance, because if you're not a talker, then, you know, it taught me a lot about you know, starting conversations and trying to find something to where we can really know about each other. So that kind of helped on that. That's something that you can do, but make sure one key is that make communication a priority for sure.
Yeah, and just, you know, hey babe, we're gonna talk every night before we go to bed. Let's not miss a night. Let's pray together. That brings you closer together. You don't have to see each other to pray and feel connected. You can pray together, and God will give you that connection. And if you're long distance and you don't see yourself going past a year or two, if you're not in it to go all the way, it's pointless. Like, why are you wasting your time? Now, if you think that's gonna be the person forever, and you want to risk that time and, you know, that your commitment and go through these goals, then go for it. We're all for it. But, you know, and don't get me wrong, you have goals, and sometimes you don't attain your, you know, ascertain your goals. So that's okay to, you know, fall short. But always just remember to just, look, we're going to try to do this. If this is what you want to do, have a understanding with one another. You know what each other want. What's our relationship goal? After this time, I'm in school. Okay, so babe, you know, we can't see each other that much. You know, let's have a date over the phone. Make it fun. Make it fun.
That'll keep the, you know, the freshness in it. Although you're not seeing each other, but y'all are trying to provide, you know, both of what you guys need, which could be affirmation, which could be the romance, where you're anticipating to hearing their voice, and you're waiting for them to really remember some things that you talked about in a previous time during the phone. And that's a lot of times what me and P would have, little things. We'll go through our little routine where it'll be movie lines, or we'll go through certain things.
We'll ask questions.
And it helped a lot.
Yeah, we would say something like, think fast. You know, the first thing come in your mind. So if I would say like light, he would say, you know, bulb, or you know, sun, or something like that. But that was fun. We would just make, you know, have fun or whatever. And I was just, you know, it didn't work for me, because I'm more so of, I love to spend time, and I like to be all up on my man, and you know, so it worked for that moment of time, but it didn't, you know, at that time. But when I came home, we'll tell y'all that story later, but how it actually really worked. But 3 times a charm.
Yeah. And so what we really want to let you guys know, that it is possible. We don't want to,
it's possible,
but it is hard work, and we want to let you know that just don't get into it for the physical aspect, but really understand what you're getting into when you're saying a long distance relationship. And we know a lot of times relationships that are long distance could be due to school, could be due to work, could be that you met that person online, and you're, you know, trying to.
And that doesn't mean you're not meant to be, because, you know, you're in Louisiana and this person's in New York. That doesn't mean you're not meant to be. It just means that y'all need to find a common ground, or who's gonna move for who and when. Now, if you're just talking because you need something to do, that's just your friend. But to call it a relationship of boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, I don't think that's gonna work, and that's just my opinion. It could work because it's worked for people, but to know that person, to truly know that person, and if you're not moving in and shacking before you get married, to truly know that person that lives out of into a different state across the world, you have to have a goal. What are your relationship goals? What are you going towards?
Yeah, and what are we sacrificing this time for to see what's the greater good, or what's the what's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow?
That's so
you
good,
want to make sure that any event, have a plan, have a at least a pathway of where you're trying to go as a relationship. And truth be told, it may you may find yourself where you guys may break up, but you may come back full circle, because now once you're together, that communication is going to be so tight because you built it just by being long distance. So
well,
we got a third party with us.
Yeah, excuse us, baby. Say hi, Jackson, if they can see you. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay. Well, thank you for tuning in back to our channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Please do.
Remember, love is an action word. Bye.
See you guys.